All right, we're going to start Unit 15, Lesson 4, and we're going to still be using our estimating square roots, but this time we're going to be using a number line to help us identify that and kind of mark our points in our tenths place on that number line. So we're going to do the same kind of concept that we've been doing and using no calculator of how we're going to use now a number line though to help us estimate our square root. So like the previous method, we need to narrow it down to which two perfect squares it is in between. So we've got some different number lines we're going to look at and break those down. Now, let's think of the square root. If I can zoom out. Square root of 16, the square root of 25. Square root of 16 is 4, the square root of 25 is 5. So let's just say we would have 4 here and 5 here. We're going to use these as tenth placements to help us narrow down. First, say if we said, what's the square root of 18? And then figure out which tenth place we're going to use. Okay, so let's look at the next example. So we're going to use the number 9 line to estimate the square root of 15. We first need to figure out which square roots does 15 fall in between. So the square root that is less than 15. Perfect squares. Okay, what times what? Let's see, we have 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. So we're going to have the square root of 9 is less than 15. But then the greater one is the square root of 16. Okay, and the number for 9 is 3. So we have 3. That's going to be on this end of our number line. The square root of 16 is 4. So the square root of 15 is going to fall in between 3 and 4. It's not going to be less than 3. It's not going to be greater than 4. Okay, somewhere in between. Now, though, I want to figure out, using these tenth values down here, is it closer to the 9, the square root of 9, or is it closer to the square root of 16? Well, 15 is really close to 16. It's only about 1 point away, and it's 6 points away from the 9. So we really want to maybe think, and I think this is a little off, so let's say this is 3, then we have 3 and 1 tenth, 3 and 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths, and then this would be our whole number of 4. Okay, so which tenths would we think it would fall closer to? Definitely closer to being 4, but remember, it's not going to be over 4. It's in between 3 and 4, but we were going to think it's 3 and 9 tenths would be our closest bet. So let's square those by timesing them by each other real quick and see what we get. Moving our decimals out twice, 9 times 9, we get 81. 9 times 3, 27, plus 8 is 31. New place value, 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 would be 11. Add those up. 1481. So 3.9 squared is 1481, which is pretty close to 15, and we can't go over that number. So our estimated square root would be 3 and 9 tenths. Just using a number line to help us determine those. All right, so let's use another number line to see what we've got. So the square root of 43. Let's see, 6 squared is 36, 7 squared is 49. So 36 is less than it, but greater than it is the square root of 49. So it's going to be in between. The square root of 36 is 6, the square root of 49 is 7. So it's going to fall in between 6 and 7. So remember, these are our tenths. Okay, so it's going to be somewhere between 6 and 7 using our tenths place value there. And let's see, well, how far is 43 from 36? It's about 7 steps away from each other. Into 49, it's about 6. That is almost perfect, almost in the middle. So let's go ahead and look, what is it if we use 6 and 5 tenths? Let's go ahead and take 6 and 5 tenths, square them, which just means multiply by each other. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 6, 30, plus 2, 32. Bring our place value down. 6 times 5, 30. 6 times 6, 36, plus 3 would be 39. Add those up. 12. Bring the decimal back in twice. I'm just not sure, though. I'm going to go check 6 and 6 tenths. I know, these get tedious, but let's see. Let's use our handy dandy calculator. I know it says not to, but we're going to use it for right now. 6 6/10 squared is, the reason why I say that is that it is a little bit closer. Not by much, but it is a little bit closer. So we would say that the square root, the estimated square root of 43 equals 6 and 6. Now, close to equals, right? Pretty close. All right. So let's find the estimated square root of 90 using my number line. Which one is less than that? Well, 9 squared would be 81, so the square root of 81. And then we would have the one that's greater than it would be the square root of 100. So the square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 100 is 10, so it's going to be in between 9 and 10. And then let's see how far it's going to be from that. Well, from 81, it's about 9 spaces away. And it's 10, so it's a little bit closer. So let's try 9.4. How about that? Because it's not quite in the middle. So let's try 9 4/10. Decimal twice, decimal twice. And I've got 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 1 is 37. Add my 0 for that place value. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 9 is 81, plus 3 is 84. Bring those on down, start doing my adding. Got 6, 13, 8, 8. Bring my decimal back in twice, and let's see, is that our close for 90? And so that's not super close, so let's try 9 5/10. Oop, wrong pencil. 9 1/2. Let's see what we get there. Well, when I multiply those, I get 90/25. So we're going to probably want to go with 9 5/10 as the square root of 90. Okay, this one's definitely closer than what this came out to be, so we'd want that. Even though it goes over, that's okay. We want to find the one that's closest to it. So now it's time for you to head to your practice. There are no calculators. You can do some calculators and maybe check the work, but you shouldn't be just taking the number and trying to divide it by anything, because that's not how we find square root. Okay, so go ahead and head to your assignment and get started.